Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
My anus is bleeding!
He can't sit down.
They call them dumps, big massive dumps.
Got a flame coming out of his butthole.
Beta male.
Get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
Don't you ever do that. Don't you ever do that. I tell you, don't do it.
Oops.
We're under attack. It is an alien force, not of this world. It's not human intelligence.
Bullshit.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Bullshit.
It's not a salami sandwich.
Disappointed!
Repeat the line.
Disappointed!
How you like that, boy?
No.
Give me a break.
Stop it.
Fired.
Fired!
Bitch, move it along.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
It is an alien force, not of this world. It's not human intelligence.
The nation. Hold up, nation. What's up, everybody? It's Monday. Start of a brand new week. Welcome to the show. Got some fun stories. And a lot of informative stuff as well. So, and what do we got on the docket today? Well, first of all, before I get to that, happy Halloween to everybody. Figured I would get that out there. So hopefully everybody will have an excellent night. Now, that said, we've got some scary stuff, but in the not fun way. That includes what the Paul Pelosi attacker really believed. We also have Elon Musk embarrassing himself immediately after acquiring Twitter. We also have MAGA writer, an interesting story on that. We have Christian nationalism. We got Republicans just out there saying, oh, yeah, by the way, that whole thing about religious freedom, we don't actually believe in that. That just means, we get to tell you what to do. So, it's just one of those things.
Oh my God, he admitted.
So... And then we're also going to talk about Candace Owens' questionable charity. Did you know she had a charity? Is it really a charity? All right. Well, we'll talk about it. That said, please like and share the stream if you haven't already. With that said, let's dive in to the first story. A little bit of yikes to start your day. How about that? Or your evening. All right. Over the weekend, we got more details into the motivations of alleged Pelosi attacker David DePape. Now, he's, of course, alleged to on Friday morning broken into the Pelosi household looking for the Democratic Speaker of the House. Now, the Washington Post reports that DePape, 42, had published hundreds of blog posts in recent months, sharing memes in support of fringe commentators and far-right personalities. Many of the posts were filled with screeds against Jewish people, black people, Democrats, the media, transgender people, because, of course. Now, the motivation, according to the San Francisco police, or I should say what he planned to do, was to apparently break Nancy Pelosi's kneecaps and drag her into Congress. I'm not kidding. That just recently came out. So now, he had put all this stuff, all his beliefs, publicly on a website called friendlyfriends.com. Doesn't sound very friendly, though. Now, that was registered on August 8th under DePape's name and to an address in Richmond, California, where a neighbor told a reporter that he had lived at. A lot of these writings, of course, were incredibly dark and very disturbing. Obviously, a very mentally unbalanced person. So, let me give you examples. 2 weeks after registering the site, DePape's first post was titled Mary Poppins. Oh, okay, how's that dark? Well, that's amid the ongoing feud between Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Disney over the company's criticism of the state law, known by critics as the Don't Say Gay bill. The video depicted a SWAT team firing at Mary Poppins. So, obviously, I guess he would be pro-SWAT team from what it looks like. Great. Now, in late August, DePape also became engrossed into the decision by Twitter to ban our good friend Jordan Peterson. So now he added to Jordan Peterson's obviously incredibly transphobic tweets, saying that trans people should not be a protected group. So here's what he said about transgender people. They were not born a freak. They are not inherently a freak. Through no fault of their own, they're choosing to be freaks. So, now, anybody who knows a single transgender person knows that, well, actually just a single human being, they don't choose to be who they are. Transgender people had as much choice to become transgender than I did for being a cisgender straight male. Which is to say, absolutely no choice. You are who you are. Now, also in the last week of September, as the Justice Department was filing a motion to seek to compel former Trump advisor Peter Navarro to return government emails, DePape had his own, take on the situation. He said, no evidence of election fraud. Any journalist saying that should be dragged straight out of the field and shot. Well, there you go. And this is the classic example of how right-wing brains are being rotted by their media. Hey, you can't say that you don't have any evidence of election fraud. Okay, well, where's yours that it actually existed? Do you have anything to prove, without a shadow of a doubt, that the election was stolen? No. Well, so they threaten people. Since they don't have evidence to prove it, they threaten you. They threaten you. Threatening violence, by the way, is an admission that you know that you're on the wrong side. But what you want to do is silence dissent through fear, because you don't have the facts. You're so desperate to be right that you are willing to hurt and kill other people who disagree with you. And this is the same side that says the left wants to shut down someone's debate. No, this is projection. No, the worst thing the left wants to do is kick you off social media. Whereas at the worst, the far right, will straight up kill you for not agreeing with them. But there's more. DePape also posted on 4chan. Great. In an October 24th post titled Disinfo Shield Tactics. Ooh, great. He complained that he was the target of law enforcement and had described paid shills trying to manipulate the message board, saying, I would come in and lay out the facts, and so all the paid shills would jump on me to try to suppress it. Talk about main character syndrome. Hey, maybe you're wrong in just saying unhinged things, and there are people out there saying, actually, what you're saying is ridiculous and stupid. Paid shill. Paid shill. You're paid to say that. You're paid to say that my unhinged opinions are not true. But, I mean, really? Seriously? Okay. That said, am I saying that paid bots and trolls don't exist? Of course not. No, of course they exist. Twitter is a huge bot and troll problem. I know. We all know it. Look, I'm very surprised that Elon Musk didn't know that or that's what he had claimed to try to get out of buying Twitter. But now he owns Twitter. And now that he owns Twitter, do I think he's going to do anything about the bot and troll problem? No. Not at all. All right. That said, do you think that Rando Dave was being targeted by law enforcement? Maybe because he's insane. But generally, no. Nobody gave a crap about Rando Dave until he decided to do an actual assault. More, DePape had also shared images from a construction site where he had worked months ago. One highlighted a jackhammer with the number 33 on it. Apparently, it's a reference to Freemasonry, world domination, real weirdo stuff. A coworker also remarked that he had sounded like Rush Limbaugh. Oh, great. After referring to feminists as feminazis during a discussion on feminism, according to the account. Right-winger. Just saying. Now, the most interesting part to me, by the way, and I keep saying that he's insane. Well, it's because he keeps proving it he's insane. Look, he's imbalanced because, and I say that because, look, there wasn't anything that was a whole lot different about Rando Dave than your average far-right conspiracy theorist. They believe in the same stuff. They say the same things. They believe the same things. They get their news from the same sources. And I say news, but really what I mean is just talking points and weirdo conspiracy propaganda ideas. And let me show you some of those sources, right? Newsmax. About election fraud. Mike Billow, obviously, again, about so-called election fraud. Ben Shapiro. Jordan Peterson. He said he was a fan of Jordan Peterson. But interestingly enough, you also had Jimmy Dore and Tulsi Gabbard. Wait, Jimmy Dore? Well, look, Jimmy Dore has been doing COVID-19 anti-vax or vaccine hesitancy or vaccine question related content for some time now. Like, that's the main thing. So, yeah, those are those conspiracies. But then you also have Tulsi Gabbard, who is now full right-winger. And always was, let's be honest, who is super anti-trans. Like, she went on a public speaking tour saying, I'm sorry, this was like a public event where she was talking about the groomers. Jesus Christ. But this next post shows his mental illness and how that might have played a pretty decent role, a little bit, into his radicalization of the right wing. On October 24th, 4 days before the attack on Pelosi, DePape shared images of a wooden birdhouse. Oh, okay. Well, and he had said he had purchased for an invisible fairy that he communicated with that had begun interfering with his life. A fairy. He wrote, he appears in a form that makes sense in my reality because I can't see fairies. He'll do things to let me know it's him and often appears as a bird. Mental illness, man. You want to tell me how mental illness is treated in this country? And which side apparently seems to benefit from not funding mental health care? Look, I'm not saying that mental illness turns you into a right-wing lunatic. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But what I'm saying is that, maybe proper counseling and mental health treatment could prevent people from seeing fairies or talking animals or hitting 82-year-old men with hammers looking for the Speaker of the House. One of the most well-known Democrats aside from Hillary Clinton. But aside from that, it's pretty clear the prevalence of these conspiracy theories have had an effect on poisoning the minds of people. Some of whom will decide inevitably, once they hear enough of this crazy stuff, like, oh, you know, they're drinking they're drinking the blood of children, they're going to take the matters into their own hands. That's just a sad reality. Okay. Berries. Moving on. Go to something related. Been approximately 1 day since the new owner of Twitter has embarrassed himself and his brand. Elon Musk, who recently acquired Twitter in a $44 billion deal, which is way, way too expensive for Twitter. Well, look, previously he had tried to, tell advertisers, hey, don't worry, this is going to turn into a right-wing hellscape or anything like that. No, we're going to have rules, we're going to have moderation, all that stuff. And then, well, we find out today that he fired pretty much the entire board. And so he is now the sole, I guess, ruler of Twitter. Right. That said, he has recently deleted a fake news story involving the attack on Speaker Nancy Pelosi's home. On Friday, David DePape allegedly broke into Speaker Pelosi's San Francisco home, violently attacked her husband, Paul, while trying to find out where the speaker was. He was allegedly going to break her kneecaps or something like that. Just horrible stuff. That's why he had a hammer. And so, yeah, pretty disastrous situation. Now, we have since found out that in addition to holding a lot of weirdo beliefs and right-wing conspiracy theories, like election fraud, COVID denialism, and a belief that trans people are grooming children, among other weirdo stuff, he also sees fairies. The obvious lunatic. But since then, speaking of conspiracy theories, which had fueled a lot of the hatred against Nancy Pelosi, in this case, well, new conspiracy theory involving Paul Pelosi and an alleged gay prostitute. Because of course they did. Now, look, on Friday when I reported this, I occasionally look through the comments, and every time I come away depressed. No, not really. Actually, I think it's rather funny, some of the very creative things that they come up with. But I saw this like thing about like, oh, wait, Paul Pelosi's gay lover? What? Gay prostitute? Where's this coming from? Well, now we find out because guess who shared it? Elon Musk. Yeah. Now there's an article from the Santa Monica Observer, which is like a fake news site, which claims, obviously without evidence, that Pelosi was drunk and had a fight with a gay prostitute. Was in dispute. There was an erroneous report from a Fox affiliate saying that the attacker was in his underwear. Now that had, of course, been corrected. Nonetheless, the right wing, they ran with the story. Like, oh, did you see that? Yeah, no, it's not it wasn't one of us. No, it couldn't be one of us. No, it was Paul and his prostitute. That's what it is. Jesus. Now, the article from the Santa Monica Observer was amplified by several right-wing figures, and it cited no sources and attributes its contents to, in my humble opinion. Trust me, bro. Trust me. What are your sources? I'm sorry. What are your sources? What are you citing for your information that you're putting out? Nothing. Oh, okay. Now look, Paul Pelosi has had his issues, I think, with driving under the influence, right? But there's no evidence to assume that he was drunk, and even so, it obviously would not, I mean, you didn't deserve to be assaulted with a hammer. I mean, that's horrifying. And again, even if he had been inebriated, it wouldn't have mattered. It was 2 a.m. He's at his own house. Nobody cares. be lit up as much as he wants. But we see that this is, of course, a narrative that is there to blame the victim. It's victim blaming. And look, even if it were true, at least for the drunk thing, there would be a toxicology report that would say as much. But that, again, doesn't matter. Look, the whole point of this conspiracy, though, is to try to say, oh no, it wasn't one of us. No, it was not only was it his fault, but also it's not our fault. We didn't have anything to do with it. Wasn't a right-winger involved. No. All the reporting about DePape's political leanings, it's a cover-up. It's a cover-up. It's a cover-up. Well, that's how the modern right wing works. Okay? One unhinged, hateful conspiracy theory after another. And if and when that provokes violence, one of their own, they immediately call it a false flag. They discount it, they make up conspiracy theories, or they do whataboutism. We see it all the time. One example, by the way, is Dinesh D'Souza. The convicted criminal who was pardoned, taking campaign donations illegally. He said, the left is going crazy because not only are we not buying the wacky, implausible Paul Pelosi story, but we are laughing over how ridiculous it is. He wrote on Sunday morning. What this means is we are no longer intimidated by their fake pieties. Their control over us has finally been broken. Wait, hold on. Are you guys admitting that you were under control of the left? That's weird. You're supposed to be alphas. You're supposed to be strong. Did you, admitting that you're betas or something? Is that the correct term for this? Again, the side that claims, oh my God, they've got control over everything. It's also the side that claims that, these weak feminine men with their soy lattes. Make up your minds. You're all over the place. You're all over the place. Come on. Wacky and ridiculous. Look, the guy thought that a fairy was following him around, messing with his life. And yet Dinesh D'Souza says, the left is ridiculous. Wacky. How could you say that a man that is immersed in weirdo conspiracy theories, many of them right wing, wouldn't get violent? Yeah, that's what seems to happen. But the thing is, this guy believed in Dinesh's conspiracy theory of the mules to hold 2,000 flushes. The same website that reported this nonsense also reported hilarious gems like Hillary Clinton's body double. She's got a body double because the real Hillary Clinton died. Wait. That means so wait. Tell me, if the real Hillary Clinton is dead, then why does the fake real Hillary Clinton need the adrenochrome to extend her life when she's actually dead? Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't. They're lunatics, all of them. Not a lick of sense. They're living in an alternate reality. And now they have literally the world's richest man tweeting out their lunatic conspiracy theories. By the way, in response to going back to, is it really Hillary Clinton or is it the body double? Well, nonetheless, here's the tweet. So that's Hillary Clinton tweeting out an article, and him tweeting out the Santa Monica Observer. There's a tiny possibility there might be more to this story than meets the eye. Okay, so is it true that we don't know all of the details of what happened? Yeah, sure. Do we kind of have a handle of what's going on? Yes, this person was motivated to try to attack the Speaker of the House, who is a Democrat, after being immersed in right-wing conspiracy theories about election denial, COVID, I mean, you name it. It's very, very clear what this person believed and what the motivations are. Very clear. And then, of course, there's the people claiming false flag. False flag. False flag. Oh, the whole thing. False flag. I'm really smart. Trust me. Trust me. I don't have any evidence of this. But if it's something that happens that I don't like, well, then it has to be a false flag. It has to be. Why are people always blaming us for doing these things? Now, as far as Elon Musk is concerned, for someone who claims that they're like a genius, Elon Musk has proven to be really fucking stupid. And I mean massively stupid. Buying Twitter, like massively over, like inflating what you're paying to buy Twitter. Stupid. Now, chasing off advertisers by, you know, suggesting that, oh, we're going to let all the people that were banned off the platform come back. Stupid. Real stupid. I mean, if you actually want to have a successful company and make money, stupid. Look, on Friday, I take back something that I had said. I said, look, yeah, Elon Musk, kind of a dumb person, not the smartest, but okay. He can't be that dumb to destroy his entire platform. No, I could be wrong. I'm definitely wrong, actually. He's a moron. Not smart at all. Not smart at all. Proving, really, that the only thing you need to be successful in this world, in this country, is to be born with an emerald line. That's it. Jesus Christ. Switching gears. A convicted Capitol rioter is begging the court to delay his sentence so that he can go home for the holidays. On Monday, CBS News' Scott McFarland reported that one of the convicted rioters is asking the court to push back the start of his jail sentence, in large part because, you know, he just wants to spend time with his family, celebrating the holidays. You know, having a little bit of pumpkin pie, you know, Thanksgiving, a little turkey, you know, and then there's that Christmas holiday ham, you know, cranberry sauce and all that stuff. Okay, well, the problem is he should be in jail. Literally. Now, the rioter, Anthony Mazzio, is also complaining the facility where he's scheduled to be incarcerated is too far from his family in Alabama. Forest City, Arkansas is at least 478 miles from Dothan, Alabama, and requires a car ride of 7 hours and 25 minutes, or a bus ride of 16 hours and 15 minutes, wrote his counsel in a statement to the court. In addition, while all incarceration requires separation from family and imposes hardship, such distant incarceration will require Mr. Mazzio to be separated from his family on both Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. Oh, how sad! How sad! No, I'm not sad. I don't feel bad for him at all. Mr. Mazzio, therefore, requests the court to delay his surrender date until after January 1st, 2023, and instruct the Bureau of Prisons to designate a facility close to Dothan, Alabama, for his incarceration. The filing added. Let me just say that the audacity here of MAGA rioters is just something to behold. It never ceases to amaze me the things that they ask for, and they believe that they're going to get. And then, by the way, believe it or not, some of them do get exactly the things they're asking for. I think it was, I forget her name, one woman who flew to the Capitol riot in a private jet actually got to go on vacation. Well, okay, not vacation, but she went to Mexico. It's kind of like a vacation, but supposedly for a work trip. Right. Sure. It's a shocker that she came back. My thought is, if you wanted to spend time with your family for Christmas so badly, then maybe you should have thought about the consequences of your actions, you know? And maybe had not tried to assist the other rioters from overturning the results of a lawful election. Just a thought. Mazzio entered the Capitol wearing a tactical vest and a gas mask while carrying a Trump flag. During the chaos, he had spoken with a news outlet covering the attack in real time, to which he said this, quote, "We are tired of waiting for people that have been prominent. Honestly, Hillary Clinton is going to jail." Again. For over 4 years now, we know that she did criminal activity by destroying evidence that was subpoenaed. She has not been held accountable, and we don't expect anyone to be held accountable either. It's time to take a stand. Accountability for me, or for thee, but not for me. Nope. Everybody else, you get accountability. You get accountability. You get, I don't. Accountability? No. No. I shouldn't have to, be held accountable for what I was doing. Why are you punishing me? I should get to go home. Christmas. No, you shouldn't. Sad. Baby. Can you imagine anyone else getting that request? I mean, look, yes, as I mentioned before, Silas, a couple of rioters got that request, but think about anybody who is not white and right-wing. A low-level drug offender. A left-wing rioter. Or just your average black person. Would they get this request? No. They would never get this request granted. But see, that's the audacity, or I should say the caucasity of the situation that comes into play. People demand special treatment. And it's because they have that right-wing privilege, or think they have that right-wing privilege. They think that the true patriots, they think that the exception should be made for them, and yet believe that they're the ones who stand for law and order. Really? No, you don't get to spend Christmas with your family. Or at least I hope the judge says no. No, that's the whole point. Yeah, it's a punishment to get you to realize what you did wrong and to pay your debt to society for doing it so you don't do it again. That's the whole point. So, sad day for you. You want to fuck around? Well, there's going to come a day where you find out. And his day is coming. Okay. Go to the next story. A Texas megachurch pastor believes that he has the right to impose Christian nationalism on the country.
We always put our love for God above everything, even allegiance to our country. But that's not what they're really talking about. Listen carefully. They say they are opposed to people who say America was founded as a Christian nation, Americans who believe not only in the spiritual heritage of our nation, but believe that we ought to use elections to help return our country to its Christian foundation. If that's Christian nationalism, count me in, because that's what we have to do. And
well, yeah, look, Christian nationalism, that's what we have to do. We have to use the electoral process. Well, at least he's saying the electoral process, for now, to impose our beliefs on everyone else. Now, that, of course, was Pastor Robert Jeffress saying, basically, or admitting that, look, I don't care about the Constitution. I don't care about the First Amendment. I don't care about history. I certainly don't care about facts. If he did, well, he wouldn't be a Christian nationalist, would he? Look, I don't feel like I should need to remind people, but apparently I have to remind everybody, not everybody who's watching, of course, but the far right that the United States was not founded as a Christian nation. That's just a pure fabrication. It's the rewriting of history. And it's also to say that is deeply un-American. The whole point of keeping the government secular is not to like be unfair to Christianity or religion in general. No, it's to avoid the types of divisions that the Christian nationalists are stoking. Now, another reason that they did this is to protect freedom of and from religion. You don't want to, like, they didn't throw off the, shackles of the British Empire in order to put the shackles of Christianity on everyone else. No, I believe in freedom, and so did they. So it's actually the left, when they say, actually, we're not a Christian nation, we're a secular country, that's the left being on the side of freedom. And, well, if we're on the side of freedom, what side are they on? The Christian nationalists. Well, it ain't freedom. That's for sure. Look, they want to take freedom of and from religion away. And by the way, if you're a Christian, you think, no, I'm not going to be affected. Well, I believe in Christianity, right? Well, it kind of depends on what flavor of Christianity you are. And think about it this way, right? And I'm going to break it down real simple. Think of it as flavors of soft drink, right? The denominations of Christianity. Christian nationalism happens to be Pepsi. Not that I hate Pepsi. There's no reason that it has to be Pepsi. It could be whatever, right? But for argument's sake, say it's Pepsi. Okay, if you like Pepsi, drink Pepsi. But what if you like Coke? What if you like Diet Coke? What if you like Sprite, Mellow Yellow? What if you like, Faygo? Now, under Christian nationalism, the government's going to tell you, oh, too bad. You're going to have to drink Pepsi. You're required to, by law. Not only will you have to buy Pepsi and drink it, if you don't, we're going to maybe put even criminal penalties on you. And understand, yes, is that an extreme example? Maybe, but when you look at the history of what establishing a state religion leads to, well, it leads to the destruction of freedom. Follow our rules. Even if you're not a Christian, doesn't matter. Or I'm sorry, even if you're not a Christian, if you don't follow our rules and believe in our religion, then, well, you're going to, you're going to get punished for this. Well, that's not freedom. And look, in the olden days, it wasn't prison. It was people being put to death. Now you got people in this country that want to bring that back. Now, that said, there's another clip here that I want to show you. And this is gaslighting. Take a look.
The left don't mind at all imposing their values on our country through the election process. They don't mind forcing their pro-abortion, pro-transgender, pro-open borders policy upon our nation, but they object when conservative Christians try to impose their values on society at large. It's complete hypocrisy.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay. So apparently the left, according to him, we're trying to impose the pro-abortion, pro-trans, and pro-open borders? Really? Okay, so let me ask you a question for Mr. Jeffress, right? Do you know anybody who's being forced into getting abortions? There's certainly a choice. Are they getting forced into getting abortion? No. How about who's getting forcibly transgendered? Nobody. He's lying. Obviously, people are making the choice to get an abortion. And look, transgender people are choosing to come out and to make their true identities known, to be themselves, to be their authentic selves. Nobody's forcing that. We're allowing this to happen so that people could be, I don't know, happy, being themselves, who they are, expressing themselves. But see, understand, that they want the opposite of that. Again, it's gaslighting, it's projection. What they want to do is actually to force people not to be able to get any abortions. They want to force all transgender people, all LGBTQIA plus people back into the closet. Oh, you don't exist. You're not real. Neither the voices in your head, Robert. But you believe them anyway, for some reason. And finally, the open borders thing. Really? Open borders? What are you talking about? There's no open border. No open border. Not a real thing. It's not a real thing. It hasn't been open a very, very long time. The United States used to have an open border, and then right-wingers decided to pass all these exclusionary racist acts, like the, I don't know, Chinese Exclusion Act. Some of these immigration policies even targeted other white people, Europeans. So there's been a long history of the United States having the opposite of an open border. I think there was not Israeli, sorry. There was a group of Jewish Germans during World War II that tried to come here to the United States to escape Nazi Germany. You know what the United States said to them? Pound sand. They went right back, got sent back to Germany, and they ended up in concentration camps. Open border. Is that an open border? Is that an open border? Tell me about how open the border is. Really? And do you think a wall is going to fix that? The majority of people that do come over and stay here illegally is when they fly into the country and then their visas expire. They don't go back. They're not crossing the border. The whole thing is ridiculous. Open border. Open border. Look. Here's the thing. When it comes to hypocrisy and religion on the issue, on the issue of religion from the left, no, we're actually not the hypocrites. Turns out we're actually with the founders of the United States in the issue. See, what people on the left believe is that we don't care if you have a religion. Have fun, go nuts. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, right? We do care, though, when you use that religion to say that people can't be gay. They're not allowed to be transgender. That you're not allowed to exist. There's plenty of arbitrary rules that, by the way, are in their Bible, against divorce and things like that. Or that are not in their Bible, and they just cherry pick out and decide we're going to go with that. That's what they do. And by the way, talking about getting back to immigration for a second here, they ignore their own religion on the topic of immigration. The Bible did say, hey, Jesus said things like, be, kind to immigrants. Treat them as you would your own. That's kind of the whole theme. The Bible is treat the stranger as you would your own. Weird. But see, here's the thing. They're not Christians. They don't believe in their own mythology. And again, they will cherry pick out things in order to use that to bludgeon other people in the head. Not in a literal sense, but in a legislative sense. They try to write their own policies based on this that are going to have negative impacts on real people. And I say no. I don't agree. Let me just go to our friend Matt Walsh here.
Well, I do not consent.
No, hell no. No, get your goddamn hands off our freedom. You want to go and be religious, be religious. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But if you're going to go write policy for everyone else, forcing them to do certain things or not being able to do certain things, that's not going to fly here. It's not going to fly here. America, where we believe in freedom. Let's go to the last story. Candace Owens is making money hand over fist at the expense of her so-called charitable foundation. So now, back in 2018, Owens launched something called the Blexit Foundation, which urges African Americans to leave the Democratic Party. Oh, hey, look, okay, if you want to. You certainly have a lot of criticism of the Democratic Party. I certainly do have my own criticisms. But all right. And look, the black community definitely has a right to take issue, to take some umbrage of, the party for maybe taking advantage of some of their votes and not delivering for them on certain issues like voting rights. Despite the fact that, of course, black voters are the backbone of the party, incredibly important to the Democratic coalition. That said, she's urging them to give up their seat at the table in the Democratic politics to join up with the Republicans, as if Republicans are going to allow them a seat at the table. Seems pretty asinine to me. Unless, of course, you're Kanye, who is both rich and now apparently very anti-Semitic, like crazily anti-Semitic, or someone who's mentally damaged like Herschel Walker. That said, Candace Owens, she has a foundation. That foundation gets donations from who? I'm not entirely sure. In fact, because it's a charitable organization, it doesn't have to disclose any donations over $5,000 over who donates to it. But okay. Now that said, when they first started, I should say a couple of years after they first started, they actually did receive a lot of donations, about $7 million amid the racial justice protests in 2020. However, since then, it has dropped significantly. In fact, in 2020, they actually only raised about $2.4 million. Now, look, that's still a fairly impressive haul, but that's where the other problem comes into play. You see, these groups, a lot of these charitable groups have executives and other expenses. So now, for Candace Owens' group, those expenses were pretty high. In fact, in 2020, they spent, remember, they brought in $2.4 million. They spent $1.8 million on fundraising, leaving them with only about $600,000. Disaster. Blexit's most recent filing suggests last year, the foundation had received less than a third of what it raised the previous year. Despite that, the organization spent nearly $1 million more than it had earned, with its total payments to employees nearly doubling. So how much is Candace Owens getting? Well, about $250,000 plus benefits. Another $612,000 went to fundraising, and $205,708 went to travel, some of which was first class or charter. So, of course, they defend themselves. Oh, we need charter flights so we can do emergency things, emergency meetings, and stuff related to the charity. Emergency? What's an emergency? For Blexit. Look, there are questions as well about where the supposed charitable giving is happening. Where is it going to? Now, on Twitter, for example, Owens, and she likes to do this, she likes to brag about the charitable giving, right? She said, this month, Blexit raised $200,000 for black businesses which were destroyed in the BLM riots. I raised $300,000 for black businesses that were destroyed during the BLM riots. Owens tweeted at a Republican rival in 2021. And this month, October, she said, among other things, my charity gave almost $100,000 during the George Floyd riots to black businesses that were destroyed. That's a lot of different numbers. I mean, what was it? Was it the 200,000? Was it 300,000 or 100,000? What is it? She said, also, quote, I also personally paid George Floyd's rent. George Floyd died. And you blame him for it. And now you're going to say, what, that that you paid his rent? Well, okay. Now, look at more information. Now, according to a Daily Beast analysis of the filings, Owen's most recent figure, the less than $100,000, appears more aligned with Blexit's public filings. Blexit's 2020 filings showed the organization gave $108,215 in grants that year. Okay, that's not bad. Of that, the filing specifically described $77,215 in grants to 8 businesses, including a restaurant in Riviera Beach, Florida, a marijuana extraction company in Denver, Colorado, a computer shop in Richmond, Virginia, and a gym, 2 pharmacies, a restaurant, and a media organization in Philadelphia. Local media reports confirmed that some of the companies had been actually damaged during the 2020 protests. Okay, great. The Richmond computer store, to which Blexit contributed $8,000, a total, was looted. Community members launched a GoFundMe with $25,000 goal for the store owner and raised $40,000, almost $41,000, most of it in a single day. Hey, that's great. I don't have any problem with that. And look, if they contributed to that computer shop, that's great. I'm in favor of rebuilding small business that gets damaged by whatever, right? No, that's generally a good thing. But people, again, the GoFundMe raised a lot more than Candace Owens' charity. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, in 2021, the Blexit Foundation also reported giving away just $4,000 in grants and other assistance. The recipients are unclear on public tax filings. Nonprofits that have not donated more than $5,000 are not required to fill out additional information about recipients. So, not really giving all that much money. That said, she did give some credit, I guess, to places that were damaged by the riots. I would think that also, in addition to that, if you really do want to support Black people, Black businesses, that you would give to Black businesses, grants that were not damaged, specifically in riots. So when she just targets those businesses and says, well, we're going to give you money because you're specifically damaged by the George Floyd protests, well, that shows you have an agenda. And that agenda is just not to help generally Black people and Black businesses, but to just help people that you can make, a political statement on. So, that said, let me talk about the violence here. Now, the framing that Candace Owens likes to use is that, riots, burning down cities. Entire cities gone! Burned down to the ground! There's nothing left. It's just a pile of ash. Well, not true. Yes, was there a couple of cases of arson? Yeah, there are broken windows, looting, of course. But let's not forget, 93% of the George Floyd protests were peaceful. That's it. Of the violence that happened, we have reason to believe that there's some that was a result of provocateurs, infiltrators, and look, of course, plain old-fashioned looting, which does happen. But okay, she gives a few thousand here and there. Oh, great. But where'd the rest go? I mean, she raised $7 million in 2020. We give a few $100,000 that we can tell that can be verified. Weird. Now, that said, Candace Owens is not the only alleged grifter when it comes to racial justice protests. No, it turns out, on the other side, you have Black Lives Matter activists that are suing an executive of the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation for allegedly stealing about, $10 million worth of donations. In the lawsuit filed in September in LA, BLM Grassroots accuses Shalomaya Bowers, a leader of Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, and his Bowers consulting firm, of siphoning millions of dollars from the group into his own personal piggy bank. The suit also alleges that these actions triggered investigations by state and federal agencies, including the IRS, which they claim blazed a path of irreparable harm to BLM in less than 18 months. So I want to be clear. The movement for Black Lives Matter, the actual people who believe in it, they're on the side of good. Some of the organizations that have sprung up around it, not so good. Some of them. So there's the nuance here, and there's facts. Now, do we know that Candace Owens was siphoning money illegally? No, we don't. But we do know she's getting paid very, very well, despite the donations to Blexit obviously cratering. Now, I think that if you cared about your organization or your movement or the purpose behind it, which is, of course, to try to get black people to vote for Republicans, well, then you yourself, for outreach purposes, might want to take a bit of a pay cut or maybe not take money at all. Now, to be fair, she did back in 2019. She wasn't on the payroll. But then, once they started getting a lot of donations, we got money coming in now. The paycheck. Give me that money. But here's the thing. It's not like Candace Owens doesn't have an income and, relied solely on Blexit. She had a bunch of different irons in the fire. Tons of different streams of income. So why does she need to take all this money from an organization that's supposed to be a charitable organization? Now, Owens repeatedly declined to clarify to the Daily Beast how much Blexit had given to black-owned businesses. Getting back to that. In fact, Owens took issue with the story. Here's what she said. They wrote not one article regarding the 80 million raised by BLM, but they now want to know exactly how much money my actual charity specifically gave to black businesses. Well, yeah. And by the way, what's wrong with that? If you gave the money to black businesses, then that's a good thing. You can say, look at all the money I gave to the black businesses. Doing what we're supposed to do. Instead, she says, no, I'm not gonna give that information out. Then does that mean you didn't give to black businesses? It's a question. Now, she also, by the way, attacked a former staffer on Facebook named Dominic McGee. Dominic McGee used to run Blexit's Tennessee chapter. He said that he had parted with Blexit this spring, accusing the organization of pushing him out. Now, why? Why would they push him out? Now, look, he's a believer, right? Well, it's because he decided to bring in a lesbian to a leadership role. Can't do that. McGee told the Daily Beast, quote, they were all about getting black Democrats to vote Republican. And I was like, oh, wait, there's a whole audience we're not hitting, which is LGBTQ. And we have all these people in our family. Everyone in our family can relate to it, and we don't discriminate, being a nonprofit organization. Well, apparently they do discriminate. But look, honestly, in any other context, it would be smart, right? Hey, why don't we reach out to people? Get more people on our side. Gay people, huge market. Well, how did that go? Not well. Here's Owen's response. The Blexit organization is pro-family and recognizes that the transgender agenda and those that wish to promote it are expressly anti-family and increasingly predatory to children. Really? We are and will continue to remain an unabashedly pro-family organization. And there it is. Look, they'll never accept the LGBTQ plus community. You know why? It's because they hate them. And look, the thing is there are all sorts of different communities with people that are, yes, would be prone to, being conservative, having economically conservative ideas. People everywhere. You can find them that like things like tax cuts for businesses, corporations, who love deregulation, who hate big government, love small government. But see, Republicans will look at those people and think, no, well, it's because you're one of them, and we see how Republicans treat those groups. Log cabin Republicans are the biggest joke on the right wing. They couldn't even get a booth at CPAC. Constantly rebuffed. They don't want gay people in the party. Wouldn't do it. They hate them. And by the way, they also hate black people as well. Now, you might be wondering, like, oh, you say that, Jeff, but then why do they have people like Candace Owens? Why do they have Kanye West, Herschel Walker, Tim Scott, etc.? If they're so racist, they hate black people so much, why are there these handful of black people? Huh? What's the same reason that they have Dave Rubin and Caitlyn Jenner? What they do is they get people from these marginalized communities and, you know, who are either extremely wealthy or they want to get wealthy quick. How do they get wealthy? By saying terrible things about those communities. It's true. They get these people to justify the caricatures that the far right have in their minds about these groups. Getting black people, black people, they need to pull up their pants. That's the big problem with black communities. Saggy pants. I've seen more white kids sag their pants than I've ever seen black people's pants. Again, ridiculous. More middle-class white people that I know were listening to, like, rap music. You're kidding me, right? Really? Look, Dave Rubin, by the way, getting back to him. Dave Rubin, he's saying conservatives are more friendly and they tolerate him more than the left does. Well, you know what? Maybe that's true when it comes to Dave Rubin, at least to his face, and not always to his face. But I assure you, the right wing is almost certainly talking behind his back, constantly, all the time. Whereas at least we're honest now with who Dave Rubin really is, and we're not afraid to call him what he is to his face. And that's a grifter. This is who he is. Who all of these people are. Okay. Yep, that's all I got. Crazy stuff. All right. Why don't we go and read some super chats here from YouTube. Jonathan Leiter says, Twitter has always been the Calcutta of the internet. Place you go to scream down a rat hole because no one is really. Well, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, generally anywhere in the internet you could describe as that. But okay, well, thank you anyway for the for the comment. Mike Farley says, great show. Thanks. I appreciate that, Mike. And the very kind $10. Dango Bango for the very kind $10 as well says, Lonescomb abolished the entire Twitter board. There's currently no management at Twitter except Elon Musk. I see what you did there. Okay. Interesting. But yes, you're right. He did get rid of the entire Twitter board, so he is on his own now. Oh, I can't wait to see just how many advertisers flee Twitter. Already, Ford is looking at saying, you know what, we're going to suspend advertising on Twitter right now. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. $44 billion. Twitter to run it into the ground. Most expensive ego trip ever. Oh. Glad it's not my money. All I can say. All right. Thank you, everybody, for the very kind super chats. By the way, going over here to Twitch, Kaylee Fox, thank you for your subbing for a month of tier 1. 6 months. Appreciate that. All right, everybody. Have a great Halloween. Enjoy yourselves. And we'll see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place. That's 4 p.m. Eastern here, Waldorf Nation. Like and subscribe. Follow our videos. Follow us on Facebook. Maybe I shouldn't really be pushing Twitter anymore. We'll see what happens. I mean, if you're going to ask for predictions, which I'm sure some of you are wondering, what do I think is going to happen with Twitter? And that's if generally you care about it. A lot of you do. He'll probably, make the advertisers flee and then drive down the value so much that he's going to have to unload it for very cheap, or else, just have a massive, massive loss. We'll see what happens, though. All right. Oh, by the way, Deb in Michigan, thank you for resubbing for a month of Tier 1 for 5 months. Appreciate that. All right. That's it. Love you all. Have a great night, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Remember, change begins with you. Night Nation.
I'm not worth your McDonald's money.
Don't you? I tell you, don't do it.
Oh no!
No.
They are about to find out. Oh yeah.
They're kicking me out the door. They're kicking me out the door.
We're under attack.